Hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm just going to be here for a little bit, giving you all time to set up. And so let's get started. I'm cutting the butter in dice. Because there's so much butter to cut, so I thought I'll start. But I sort of want us to do together a little bit as well. So I'm just going to wait for everybody to show up and see. Once I see everybody, I will start the full recipe. So in the meantime, what I'm doing, for those of you following me on Facebook, I'm cutting the butter. We need a whole stick and 3/4. And I want to measure that with you together. So let's see how many people join in today. So hello and welcome to my organic kitchen again. I hope everybody is ready to go. If you could let me know that you are in there. I'm ready to start. I'm starting to hear people saying hello. So hello, welcome. I've been getting ready. We were all connecting. And I've been cutting all the butter. I have cut half a cup, which is a whole stick, and I don't know what happened. Here. I know there's someone from Canada that is trying to connect, and I don't think she's having luck to do it. Hopefully she'll be able to do it. So hello, we're here again. This is my second free cooking class during this turmoil that we are all going through. So I'm planning to do this for the time that we have to be in the house. So it gets you something to do, and something to do if you've got kids in the house. So today we're going to be making jam butter cookies, or biscuits as we call them in Australia. We say bickies as well. So I'll show you. I've got the butter cut. So get the kids to cut the butter as dice. So you know the size of when you play a board game, that little dice that you throw and it gives you the numbers, that's what you want to achieve. So this is a whole stick. That here in the US, a whole stick is a half a cup of butter, and it's 8 tablespoons, and it's about 113 grams or 4 ounces in weight. So when I put the recipe in my blog, I will give you all the reference. So all up in grams, we need 200 grams of butter, which is about 1 stick and 3/4. So I'm going to cut the rest. I'm going to lower. So Facebook people, you won't see my face, but you'll see my hands, which is more important, but you can still hear me. So I'm going to cut. I've got a whole stick, which is 8 tablespoons. And now I need 6 tablespoons more. So I'm going to cut off what I don't need, and I'm going to keep what I need. And this one, we can put it away for later. And we're going to keep cutting. This mat that I'm using is always very clean, and I have disinfected everything before started. I have washed my hands. I'm sure you all have washed your hands as well. So As you see, we've got little dies. So get the kids to do this. This is not dangerous for them because you have, using a butter knife, I'm just going to move because I can see that you can see my sink in there, and I haven't realized it before, and I don't like it. There we are. So get them to use a butter knife. Also, I know now is not the time to go to the shops, but you might be able to find it online. There's something called a cheese knife. The cheese knife is made of plastic, and it is a very safe way for the children to start using knife. But in these classes that I'm going to be running, I'm going to be showing everybody how to use a knife correctly. I teach children as young as 5 years old, and I'm not scared when they use the knife. I'm very aware, and I keep a lot of attention when they're using it, but if you teach them how to use it properly, you don't have anything to worry. Always with supervision, of course. And as I always say, your eyes on your knife. So I've got all the butter ready. Now, if you've got a machine, you can do this mixing the butter and the flour with a machine, and it will be much quicker. But I thought I'll show you the basic way, and also it will give the children the opportunity to enjoy a bit more and manipulate. So we've got all our butter. I know it's a lot of butter, isn't it? We've got all our butter ready to go. I'm gonna just briefly rinse my hands from all that grease. When you're in the kitchen, always put a clean tea towel or use paper towel. It's more hygienic, mainly when you're cooking for people. All right, let's get started with the flour. So we need 2 cups of flour. I'm using plain flour or all-purpose flour. You can use any type of flour that you like. These cookies really work really well with other types of flour. I like using spelt. I find spelt flour is works really well, and it's very easy to change it for all-purpose flour in most cases. So let's get our flour ready. We need 2 cups of flour. I've got my little notes. So we've got, and we have to sift it. So as you can see, I've got a strainer on top of my bowl. If you've got a sifter, by all means use it. I find that I like the way the big strainer aerates the flour, and the reason we do this when we're baking is to have softer results. So all biscuits or cookies, when we cut, they will be really nice and soft. So here we have roughly 2 cups of flour, and to that we're going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. No, it's not baking soda what we need today. We need baking powder. This is what makes it rise. We're not going to get really high biscuits, but they'll be softer. And if you're using unsalted butter, you will add a little bit of salt, just about a pinch of salt. Always very important that you add salt to your baking, because it gives you a much nicer flavor, and it balances out the sweetness quite nicely. I'm not putting any salt because I use salted butter. It's just by choice. It doesn't make any difference. So we're gonna sift this nicely. See how beautiful it's coming down, and it's really nice. It's aerating everything. I've got a little bit of flour left in here. I just do this. Perfect. Right, and now is the fun part. we're going to add the butter to the bowl, and we're going to incorporate the butter using the tip of our fingers. So for the kids, make sure you don't overdo it, because if you work it too much, you're going to melt the butter and we're going to end up with a very messy dough. We want our dough to be nice and playable, not to be messy. So this is not Play-Doh. This is a dough to make cookies. So let's put all the butter in. Okay, so all the butter is in. And I'm going to start just with the tip of your fingers like this. I'm going to show you a bit more. It's like you're breaking the butter with the flour. This is really fun to do. So I wish I could see you making it, and I wish I could see all your kids doing this, because it is really, really fun to do. What we want to achieve is like a breadcrumb consistency. So this takes a while. So in the meantime, how are you coping with being at home? I hope that you're finding something to do. I have found a lot of people are doing the same that I do in other aspects. So I'm doing a Zumba class online. I'm actually seeing my Zumba instructor more than I used to see before when I went to the gym. And I tell you, it makes me feel so much better. Very important you keep active. So even if you go for a walk around the block, always keep the distance from the people, safely. And do some yoga, some stretches. There's plenty online, and there's a lot of people, even famous people, are doing free classes for you to keep in shape. So please make sure not only you eat healthy, but that you keep in shape these days that we are all at home. Thank God for the weather. At least here in Northern California, it's been raining, and it's sort of inviting for you to be home. Now, how are we doing? It's hard work, isn't it? So that's why if you have a machine, it's much easier to do. This in a food processor will be a couple of pulses and you'll be done. But I thought for the children, it would be really nice to do it this way. I wish my daughter would want to help me, because I'm getting really tired of doing this. So let's keep going. Now today I'm going to show you a couple of, you can also do this if your hands get tired. Mine are getting really tired. So you can also do, because the butter, mine at least, is really, really hard. So I'm finding really difficult to work with it. But let the kids do it. I'm sure they're having fun. Children love manipulating, so cooking with them is a really good way to develop their motor skills in their hands from as early age as 3 years old. The first time my daughter cooked with me, she was 3. We make cupcakes, and today she's 13. She makes her own beautiful cupcakes. Doesn't need my help at all. Not even to clean up, which is really good. And that's also important, that you teach children when you finish cooking that they have to clean up all the time. So I wanted to tell you, I've been thinking about what can I cook with you next week that you could be interested in. So I'm thinking we could make the most of this time to stock up our freezer for upcoming times. Hopefully our children will go back to school soon, and we always have to prepare lunch. At least here in the US, we all have to prepare lunch for our children. I don't know in other countries. I know people from other countries are connecting, which is really exciting that all these people from everywhere are here. How is it going? Mine is coming along. Mine is coming along. Almost there. It's getting there. So you can start squeezing with your hands if it's getting too much. But if you've got a few hands, also what you can do, let's say you've got 2 or 3 children at home, maybe share it in different bowls, and they can do it themselves, and then you can put it all together. So we're getting there. It's almost getting there. Still a few really thick ones. This is the way you do scones as well. Not the way you know scones in the US, the way we know scones in the Commonwealth countries. This is the way you mix your flour with the butter as well. We are almost there. So I was going back to classes for the upcoming weeks. I would appreciate if you could tell me what you will be interested in. I went to the stores this morning trying to find toilet paper, which I was unlucky, but I was able to stock up with a lot of things, plenty of flour. So the idea that I have for next week, and I want to pass it on to you, is to do maybe homemade chicken nuggets or chicken tenders. I can give you the gluten-free option as well. Because it is really fun to make, and you can stock up your freezer for later on. So let me know what you think. That could be a way to get the children also. They will be manipulating a lot because they have to cramp, and I will show them how to cut the chicken. It's a couple of days process because we need to soak the chicken overnight, but I will post a video doing that, and then you can be prepared for the day. So let me know if that is something that you would be interested in. And I thought maybe we can do a quick bread. We made soda bread the other day just because it was St. Patrick's Day. Although soda bread is a great bread to make anytime. But I make a really nice flatbread, which is really nice, quick and easy to make. And we can make it, and you can make dinner rolls with that one as well. All right, my dough is coming together. How is your coming together? We're almost getting the consistency that we want to get. There's a few lumps there, but not many. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with this. If you've got pretty much this consistency, then we have achieved what we wanted. It's really nice, actually. I always get really nice results when I cook with you. It might be the beautiful energy that I receive from all of you, because my soda bread the other day was fantastic. Really, really the best I had ever made. Okay, I'm happy. I hope you have the same. You have achieved the same. So let's put this on the side. I'm just going to give a quick clean up to my bench. And then we think children are messy. Look at me. Okay. Egg time. I don't know where you get your eggs from, but I get my eggs here in Pleasanton, where I live, from Hoover Ranch. I just want you to have clear, I'm not getting paid for any of this. I'm doing it because I think we should support each other, support our community even more in this time. I like buying local, mainly organic products. I like helping my local community. So they can only be found in certain places. So I encourage you to go to the Facebook page. It's called Hoover Ranch. And I know that today they have some eggs available from 3 p.m. I really like it. I find that they're the best eggs that I've used in a long time. And I don't mind paying a bit more, but I know where the eggs come from. And that the people that look after the chickens put a lot of effort in, so the flavor shows that care as well. And now I'm going to show you how to crack an egg. Normally, most people crack the eggs on the edge. Now that we've got all these things happening with the virus and everything, eggs are really protective with this beautiful shell that they have, and they've got a membrane inside that keeps that together. If we break that membrane too fast and we don't know what is in the edge, you can get some bacteria into your egg. You don't want that to happen. So the idea is that you crack it on a flat surface and you just wait to hear when the noise changes. So something like, did you hear that difference? So the idea is that you crack the egg. You're just cracking the egg. And now with your fingers, now little hands will break it. It's normal because they got really excited, but it doesn't matter. I don't have a clear bowl, but I think a clear bowl is better. You can see if there's any shelf in there. But if you get any shelf, there's nothing to worry about. Let's say I got some shelf. Yeah, can you all see? Use the other shelf to get it out. It's like magnetic. It's like magic, yeah? Children love that. So there you have it. And if you have to crack a few eggs, I will do one at a time if you're gonna add it. We only need one, and we need to put a teaspoon of vanilla extract or essence, depending where you're from. I always use organic, not necessarily this brand. Here in California, I discovered, I can't open it. There we are. Here in California, I discovered Mexican vanilla, and I tell you, it's the best that I have found. It's really aromatic, and it is so intense that you need to put less, and also it doesn't have as much alcohol content. If you smell some of the vanillas, you will notice how strong they are. Before we add the egg, we're gonna add the sugar. We need half a cup of sugar, or less if you don't want so much. I only use raw sugar, nothing special, just because it's the one I like. You can use alternative sugars as well. It's entirely up to you. It will work. So we're just gonna mix this a little bit more. Like that. And I'm gonna lightly beat the egg with the vanilla. Now, do you have your cookie cutters ready? Seems that today we're having really good quality. The other day we were having a lot of problems. Okay. And I always scrape. Nothing to waste. Okay, so we've made a well, and we've put the egg mixture in there, and now we're gonna start mixing it. We're gonna do figure 8. Imagine a number 8, and with the butter knife, start making figure 8. Now I'm gonna make sure I didn't forget anything. No, I haven't. Okay. Once you see that it's sort of coming together, we're gonna have to start getting our hands in there. So start working with your hands. Get the kids to do it. They're gonna start having fun, seeing how the dough is coming together. I like starting in a bowl like I'm doing here, because if we do it on a surface, we're gonna get flour everywhere. And I'm wearing the wrong top today. Always remember, keep the front part of your arms clear It's gonna come together. Don't worry, there's enough butter here for the whole dough to come together. Just give it time. It's gonna come together. See, it's coming together. It's just a matter of being patient. If you see the children are taking a bit longer, maybe divide the dough in a few pieces, and you can put it together once they have worked out, because it's easier to work with a smaller piece like that. And then you can put it all together. Important that you put it all together before we start rolling out. So you have it all, you make sure all the ingredients are well combined. Well, I think this is looking very good. I see my bowl is completely clean. Completely clean. Okay, but now we're gonna put it on the bench. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour. This top, what was I thinking? Let's put a little bit of flour. Don't overdo it. So you're gonna let the children do it. Make sure they sprinkle with the fingers like this, like it was snowing or raining. This dough, it's perfect and it always works. So these are perfect basic butter biscuits. I'm just trying to get you to see more of the dough and not so much myself. So we're gonna knead it a little bit. So to knead, like when we did the other day with the bread, you will fold and you will push, and then you turn around, you fold, and then you push, and then you turn around, you fold, you push, you turn around until you have a good dough, whichever dough you're making. Now, I think this dough normally needs to rest for a little bit in the fridge, but it's cold enough today here, and my butter was so cold that I think that we can work from here if you want to make this class a bit quicker. So I'm going to turn the oven to 350 Fahrenheit, 160 Celsius. So it's ready to go when we have our cookies cut. I will advise you to cut this in about 4 pieces. And we're gonna start with 1. And if you can, the other 4, maybe we'll put them in the fridge in the meantime. So I'm going to get a parchment paper. I don't like plastic, but you can put it in plastic if you like. I'm gonna put it in parchment paper in the fridge while I'm working on that. So we're gonna put a little bit more of flour on the bench. And now rolling pin. I like using this one, but there's any other ones. You can also use this one. I like these Chinese ones because, I don't know, I find them, they work much better. So we're gonna just roll very gently. And we want to have about 0.2 inches, which is about 0.5 centimeter long. Look, we've done a great job. This is a beautiful dough. Okay, so now this thing works really well to do that underneath. If not, make sure that you move it so it doesn't stick to your bench. I think this is thick enough. I don't know if you can see the thickness, but this is thick enough. We don't want them to be too thin. So I'm gonna cut a few and we're gonna keep going. So I've got a heart I think it's very important that we share love now. I've got a heart, and my favorite, if I can find it, this is all my Christmas ones. My favorite is the flower. And they have a really good size as well. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, so the idea is cut as close to the edge as you can so you make the most of it. And we need to cut 2 of each because we're gonna make a sandwich. That doesn't mean you can eat these biscuits on their own or these cookies on their own, but we're gonna make a sandwich. So we're gonna cut, always sort of move it like I'm doing a little bit so it will be easier to get out. It's very breakable, so be careful. Okay, so I've got 2 flowers. Let's make 2 hearts now. See how I am trying to make the most of the dough. So I use as much as I can. Okay, I think I can get another flower. Now you always need 2 of each, unless you decide to make only just plain biscuit, which it probably will happen at the end. Okay, so I've got a tray, 2 actually, ready with parchment or baking paper. Always use baking paper when you're baking. So we're going to be putting these in here. Let's get things out of the way. Remember, Hoover Ranch. Beautiful eggs. Okay. And now very gently pull this down and get it up. So we've got 1. Now with the ones that we're going to make, we need to make a little hole in the middle. So if you don't have these fancy things, I've been making cookies for so long, I've got all the gadgets that you can imagine. If you don't have ones, if you've got a piping set, you can use the thick part of the tip of the pipe to do the hole, or just do it with a knife. So we want to do a little hole in the middle to this one, and we're not going to throw that away. We're going to eat it. They're delicious. So I'm going to do another hole in the heart and another hole in the flower. See how easily I put my finger through and it came? And we're not going to throw any of that dough away. We're going to use it all because you can put it together again. And so we're going to be making cookies here for a while because I don't want to have you here until tomorrow. We're going to get this lot happening as soon as the oven is on. I apologize, I didn't have it on. Okay, so what you can do with this is put it together again. I'm going to grab another load. So go and grab another piece of dough, and let's fill the tray, and then we put it in the oven. And I can continue, and you can continue at home this afternoon to make the rest of the biscuits. How are you all doing so far? Are you enjoying making cookies? So let's put another. I don't have a really big kitchen, but I do the best I can with what I have. So I'm going to put that together in there, and I'm going to fold it again. The dough is magnificent. I told you, this is never fails. And mine is fully organic, but if you're not into organic as I am, we'll always use the best ingredients that you can get your hands on. We are what we eat. So eat well and you will be happy because you will have health. And if we all have health, we are all happy. Look what's happening in our world at the moment. Always make sure that it doesn't stick. If you don't have one of these, just pull it out and make sure you've got enough flour underneath. I am super happy with this dough. It's fantastic. And this amount makes lots of biscuits or cookies. I hope everybody has been able to get in, because I'm not seeing as many people as I expected to see, which is a bit sad for me. It's amazing what we are all doing to help each other in this time, isn't it? I'm really taken by some of the stories, although I have to admit that I'm going to disconnect a little bit because sometimes we get in too much information and it's becoming a bit too much. So, okay, another flower. And I need to get another heart. And I won't. No, okay. Never mind. I didn't measure it. So I've got one. You can see I've done this before. Don't lose patience with the children. Let them work their way. If they're not perfect, it doesn't matter. The idea is that they have fun, you too, and let them take ownership. So if they make certain biscuits, I will actually encourage you for them to write their name on the paper. So they know this is the one I made, and you'll see how happy they will be. My oven is going to take a while. Okay, the dough, you'll notice it will become more difficult to play with as it gets warmer. So you don't want that to, you want to avoid that to happen. And always leave enough space on the tray. We can put this around. Okay. Now don't worry if you're missing anything. I'm gonna put the video in YouTube, and it always Facebook automatically puts it in there, and I'll share it in my personal page for those of you who have missed out. Okay, so the thing is, we need for things to bake, and they take about 15 minutes. So I don't know if you want to keep staying. Lucky us. Okay, let's bake these ones. And with the baking, I'll make more. And I also want to show you something else. So we're going to put this in the oven for 10-15 minutes. Let's do 10. And we'll check. Mainly the little round holes will be ready in 10 minutes. The biscuits might take a little bit longer to do. So in the meantime, I'm gonna wash my hands. Hello, Facebookers. And I'm going to show you a product that I've received that you can get online. Again, I am not getting paid for any of it. What I'm doing is helping other small business like me to get people to know them. And they're things that I like. So I've received this packet. It's called Avia. And what you receive in this box, you can look for them on Amazon. I think it's about $20, $21. And you receive these reusable bags to put your groceries when you go to the store. Really natural fibers, really beautiful. And you've got some of these wax rubbers that you can use to rub instead of using plastic wrap. So there's about 4 of them, and they're actually really nice. And they're a young Spanish couple who live in Australia, and they got in touch with me through a friend of mine. Those of you who don't know, I lived in Australia for 18 years, so I'm highly connected to the country. So you've got a small one. This is really pretty. And there's 3 more. So you'll get a small wrap, 2 medium wraps, and a large wrap. And this is very good for the environment. What I've noticed today when I was at the shops is that everything that I do, which is buying bulk and putting in paper bags or taking my own containers and fill them up there, so I'm not buying or putting anything, it's not happening anymore because of the manipulation that cannot happen now because of the virus. So unfortunately, that's what's happening. So anything we can help, it's done. So I'm going to keep going with this. I don't know whether maybe we should keep making cookies. We just need for them to dry for a little bit, but I'm just going to make one for you even if they're not dry, so you see how they look. I'm going to make some more, but I'm going to put this one in the fridge. So let me know what you think about the classes that I thought for next week. Whether you'll be interested in, I thought we can make healthy junk food, we can call it. Children love it, and it's so easy to make at home and so much healthier and so much better for the kids. And then the flatbread. So I think I'll do it Tuesday and Thursday as we did this week, if you keep coming along and if you like it. So tell your friends. You know, I'm not making any money. I'm just helping you, getting you to know me. If you want to know a little bit more about me, go to my website, carmensorganickitchen.com. There's a little story about who I am, where I come from, a little bit about my family, and you know, you'll get to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I've got a lot of things that are happening this year. Hopefully this situation is not going to make it not happen. I think it's actually going to help because it's going to give me the opportunity to get most of you to know me who didn't know me before. So let's cut a bit more. So let's do it again. Kids, press with your little hands and just give it a little twist. This way it will come out easier. And I think I was missing a heart, so I'm going to make an extra heart here. Now you can do any shapes, and for Christmas, these are great for edible presents. This is actually one of my staple recipes in my Christmas edible present class because they look so beautiful, so festive. People love them. So it's something that you can do. And I think in this day, if you make a good batch, think of your neighbors. I'm actually thinking I might drop some to my neighbors' children that were playing outside when I came from the shops. I might give them a little plate. Hopefully they'll appreciate it. Well, they're from a different community, so not sure about how they go about sweets, but okay, I needed one that I remember. See how it comes, it's massive. you get lots and lots and lots of biscuits or cookies out of this dough. Very difficult to have because you need an egg. But you can add the yolk if you want to do that, which is another option that you can have. Always think when you're cooking about what you can do. And as I said, you can use different flours, spelled. You can do half and half, wholemeal and plain flour. You know, use whatever. And you can use a gluten-free flour as well, very easily. There's a couple of really good gluten-free flours out there. My favorite is Bob's Mill 1-to-1. Again, I'm not being paid for it. It's just the one I like, and I really trust it because I've used it for years and it works really well in baking, in sweet baking. Don't use it for bread making. Gluten-free bread is a very different type of bread that you make. We've got only 2 minutes to go before our first batch of cookies are ready. So if anyone have got any questions so far, I'll be more than happy to answer them now. If you want to see something else on my profile or any other recipes that you may be interested in, I've got quite a few recipes on my blog, which is in my website. So go there, get some ideas for cooking these days. There's a couple of vegan recipes. There's always the option that you can add protein to it, whether it's animal or not animal. And get, I think this enclosure is giving us the opportunity. It's a great opportunity for you to get back in the kitchen and start cooking. And as I said before, if we can start stocking up, because when this finish, we are all going to go crazy going outside. Also, I'm sure we should be careful. But if you stock up your fridge, your freezer, it will be so easy later. You know, in summer you go to the swimming pool and you want to take some food. Well, if we make those homemade chicken nuggets and chicken tenders, it's going to be ready for the kids, and you make them in the oven. So those are very nice. So if I don't hear from you that you prefer anything like that, I will be making that next week, probably Tuesday. But as I always said, I will always let you know. I'm just going to have a look how these cookies are going. They're looking great. But they might need 5 more minutes. So in the meantime, I've got some organic strawberry fruit spread, but you could make your own. You're probably shaking your head saying, what is this lady doing? She didn't make her own jam. But, you know, I'm making 3 meals a day, which is very unusual. Normally here where I live, we only do 1 a day. So having to think, having to shop takes a lot of time. Right, let's see. They need a bit more. Even the little ones need a little bit more. So I'm going to give them another 5 minutes. But if you don't want to wait anymore, I don't want to have you waiting, and I don't want to keep talking. I'm just going to briefly show you what you have to do with the cookies or the biscuits. And I want to see your photos, how you do it. So what you will do, let's imagine that this is cooked and we get a heart. Let's imagine that this is cooked. So what you would do is you get your You put your biscuits to cool down on a cooling rack. Let them go to room temperature, because if you put the jam when they're still warm, the jam is going to melt. So the idea, you get your biscuit, you get your jam with this or with a butter knife, you spread your jam and you put this on top, and then through this hole you will see the jam and it will look beautiful. And then you sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar on top to make them a little bit prettier. And that's it. You can eat them like that on its own, or you make them into a sandwich. I don't want to bore you waiting another 5 minutes here for me to tell you what to do. So I think it's better we leave it here. Let's just go over it really quickly. So we mix the flour, we sifted the flour with the baking powder, and you'll notice when you eat the biscuit, the baking powder makes them a lot lighter and very nice. We've done sifted, and then we mix the butter with the flour until we achieve that breadcrumb sort of texture. You can do that in a food processor, or you can do that with your stand mixer. Use the paddle attachment, the one that is like that, and it will make it for you. But if you've got children, do it by hand. They'll love it, and it's much easier to do. Sugar. I forgot the sugar. We need to add the sugar first. Then we use a knife. We do like figure eights to put it together in the bowl until the bowl is clean, like mine. You remember my bowl was completely clean. And then you put the dough on the flat surface with a bit of flour, and then you knead it, fold, push, turn around, fold, push, and then we roll it out to about 0.5 centimeter, 0.2 of an inch thickness, and we start cutting. Use any cookie cutters that you have at home. When it's Christmas time, make it festive. Use Santa's boots, and we cook them in the oven, 350 Fahrenheit, 160, for about 10 to 15 minutes. My oven today, for some reason, is working a bit lower because I haven't used it for many days. And when you use your oven a lot, it will heat up quicker, it will cook quicker. When you haven't used your oven for a few days, it needs time to warm up again. And that's what's happening with mine. I haven't used my oven since I make the bread on Tuesday. So today, normally I use it every day. And it's also quite cold today. When your cookies or biscuits are ready, remember, let them cool down on a cooling rack completely to room temperature. Get your jam, whichever you're using. I like it strawberry because of the mix of colors. Apricot is very nice too, but if you've got, I know some of you have been making jam, use the one you've got at home. Put the top to make the sandwich. Through the little hole, you'll see the jam. It will look beautiful, it will taste better. And then you put some icing sugar on top to serve. So I'm going to leave it up here, and if I don't hear from you, with any ideas in the comments, or send me a DM, or send me an email with anything that you would like to see, I will go ahead next week and I will do the healthy homemade chicken nuggets, so the children can do it with us, because it's really playful and there's a lot of hands on it, so they'll love that too. And let them do it. It's messy, I know, but then get them to help you clean up. They can do it. And we will make some flatbread, which also we will do something before, and then we'll finish later. Lucky you, I'm going to get the biscuits out of the oven, and now they're ready. Now the biscuits are completely ready. So I actually have time to make one for you. burning myself. I'm just gonna put these in the oven. I've got another lot to make. And I'm sure my family is not gonna wait for them to be ready. Okay. It's so nice. So nice. What I recommend you that I didn't do before, when you put them back, like you see how I check at 10 minutes and I needed 5 more. I think I could have done with 12 because some of them look a bit toasty. I'll show you. So you learn a bit more. Some of them look a bit toasty here. So I could have done with less time. What I didn't do, I didn't flip the tray around. So flip the tray around because the oven doesn't cook at the same way all over. So it's always important that you flip around, and even if you're cooking 2 at the same time, that you put one down and one up. So let's get a biscuit done now that we're together, so you can see how it's done. Delicious. So nice. It will melt because it's not to room temperature, but we're just going to put the jam in and as much as you like. And there you have it. Isn't that beautiful? If you add a little bit of powdered sugar on top, it will look super nice and it will be really delicious. So that's it. I hope you like it. I wait to see you next week again. Thank you, because I had an enormous response since I was here on Tuesday, and that makes me really happy, because all I want to do is help you to go through this time with what I know, which is my cooking skills. So if I help you in any way, I feel very happy. So remember, stay safe, stay at home, me quedo en casa, and eat well and be happy. And I'll see you next week. Bye.